I'm your host, Spink, the Ice Cream Man, checking in live and direct from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Today, man, I've been scrolling through my YouTube, and I'm very interested in the latest uh, topics that's been coming up about Charlie Kirk, about his shooter. A lot of people saying that they don't believe it's him. A lot of people believe that the gun was not the actual murder weapon. But before we get into all that, me personally, I really didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until his unfortunate assassination. But today I'm gonna check out some of his debates, and I'm gonna try to get a better understanding of who he was and see what he actually represent. Because, like I said, before he was assassinated, I had no idea who this guy was. So let's check out some of his debates, y'all. Let's have a civil discourse. I know this is a touchy topic. I'm coming in unbiased because I heard a lot of things, disparaging things that he actually said about my people, whether you're on the left or the right. I'm a Navy veteran. I don't know. I don't really care too much about the left or the right. I judge a person about what they say and their actions. So I'm gonna see what I agree with on what this guy said. Let's get to it. Go ahead and play it.
I feel like you know more about this than I do, but I think it's a really important question. My question is basically, you know how the country is divided basically into Republican and Democrat, right? And we kind of became really divided. Like, with all the people right here, you can hear like a really big protest going on right over there. My crowd's big. Yeah, but yeah, why? Why do you think we have become so divided as a country?
Yeah, it's not actually a stupid question. I mean, part of it is, look, it's going to sound like overly simple.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask a question to prove my point. The side that believes in freedom of speech is the side that I believe is on the right side of history.
Yeah.
Has there been an instance, guys, where a liberal has had an open mic on campus where conservative kids can ask questions and you guys feel respected? How many of you kids here on campus, raise your hand, do you feel as if you're graded down if you come out as a Trump supporter or conservative? This is the why we're so divided. Look around. And I hope the professor's still here to look at this. It is not because of conservatives. We seek to heal this country. I'm trying to find common ground. We're trying to look at each other as fellow citizens. Conservatives on campus are treated terribly. Just the other day, by the way, is that student here, the student that got punched in the face? Where is he? Come on up here. This kid's amazing.
Got 12 people checking out the Neighborhood Superstar podcast. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
That's fine. So Jay got punched in the face by a professor here at
What?
Washington State University because he was wearing a MAGA hat. Jay, am I telling the story correctly? Come on, come here. Okay,
Yeah, get him up there
want
to
me
tell the
open the
story.
gift now? Okay. Come on up here, Jay.
Yeah.
So Jay, I don't want to put you on the spot. So you got punched in the face. You got punched in the face by a professor here. What happened?
Well, basically, so what happened, everyone, was I was walking to Valhalla to get my food exchanged, and PhD student Patrick Mahoney, as well as his accomplice, Gerald Hopp, did not like the hat I was wearing, all right? Or Patrick, whatever. And when my head was down, remember, I made zero eye contact with him. He saw my hat, he ripped the hat off my head, crumbled it. I had to go confront him and say, what are you doing, dude? Because he had the hat on it. Then he told me to go get it. I'm sorry. Then after that, of course, he leaned towards me. So like you see, I had to go throw my food at his face. And then no, he did, because I thought he was about to throw a punch. What happened to him?
Pause it.
No, what happened next? He charged.
That's just what I said earlier. What Charlie Kirk should have said right then and there, if he was against his people committing violence, because the man said he's against violence. That man perpetuated violence by throwing his food in his face.
Okay.
Now, he did was something I would do.
Okay.
I feel like if Charlie Kirk should have told his people, hey, you know what, I appreciate you standing by me, but we prefer you not for you to do that.
Okay. Well, Charlie Kirk's the type that's going to let him finish before he talks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me. I had to stand, my ground, and then also Gerald Hoff also came at me to Gerald grabbed my leg. I was falling down. Patrick grabbed my chest, slammed it on the road pavement. Then he grabbed my head and also slammed it on the road pavement as well. And when he did that, I remember, oh my goodness, no. So on like far left, like Reddit and also Discord, crush the heads of your opposition, crush the heads of your fascists. When he did that,
And this was a professor, right? He's teaching 103. So, by the way, God bless you, man. Thank you so much. That was really great. Thank you.
They mentioned it all.
They knocked his hat off of his
I hate to
head.
put it that way, but if a conservative professor would have hunted down a Kamala Harris wearing student, it would have been a hate crime and the #1 news story in the country. Now we could barely get attention for a young man who was punched by a professor here at Washington State University.
Which is
They're
wrong.
the ones
And that guy
dividing
should have
the
been
country.
fired.
We're the ones trying to heal it. Thank you.
I'm on the Charlie Kirk fan side for getting violated.
Yeah, sure. And I'd like to thank you for putting this whole thing on. I think we definitely need more room for open discussion between the left and the right. And I think that the lack of that is what has contributed to so much, polarization in our country. But I do have one particular policy question for you. So I was watching a video of yours about a week or two ago, and you were talking about the Biden pill penalty and the Inflation Reduction Act, if you recall this. And not to misquote you, but I believe your exact words were, gutting medical care research to fund green energy giveaways. Is that correct? Is that about right?
Yes, but I should have been much more precise. I can tell you why I don't like the pill penalty,
Okay.
if you'd like.
Okay, I'll
But I acknowledge I could have been more precise.
So, from my understanding from reading the bill, is that there are two separate streams. So, like the green energy reform comes from corporate taxation, and the decrease in medical research that you're talking about comes from lowering prescription drug prices, which in turn could lower the amount of medical research. But it's projected that in 30 years we could see a 1% decrease in that. And just to add a final point to my question, you seemed very bothered about how this would.
Sereno,
But I haven't heard you.
looking
speak
at your
about
picture, I can't
all
really
the
tell.
money that Trump has withheld from multiple
Well, you don't
institutions
appear
that
to be a
use
black
that
person to
as a
me.
great
What's your name?
You seem like you have a high, a light pigmentation. So I can't really tell if you're black, but if you're not, and if you are black, tell me how black people are so privileged. I'm not going against you. I just want to know.
A drug, and I'm very anti-pharmacological agents most of the time.
Yeah.
But a drug that is objectively really good for humanity is a statin. Okay. Like statins are really, really good. They lower your cholesterol. I would prefer you lower your cholesterol in other ways. Cholesterol isn't also the killer.
They can't be racist. They can have their own black shows and stores and even get accepted to places due to others feeling bad for them, like in Hollywood.
Damn.
Then why invest all that money in the research and the development? So that's where I come from on this, is that if we are to find drug breakthroughs, then the people that are investing that money need to have an incentive to do so.
I ain't got no opinion on that.
Why America has led the way in some of the most exciting drug advancements of the last 20 or 30 years. Public funding does not always have that same sort of incentive structure. Now, to strong man my own argument against me, some of the greatest medical advancements have come from public funding, but not all of them. And so it's a mixture. So what the Biden pill penalty did, part of the Inflation Reduction Act, is it would have severely jeopardized the patent window, basically, that a successful drug would have had, basically de-incentivizing future investment in drug breakthroughs that could have helped a lot of people.
Yeah, so I completely understand.
Does that make sense?
So I completely understand where you're talking about incentives and how if the incentive is lower, that we're not going to see as much production of new drugs. But we've seen policies like this go into effect in multiple other countries that have much better healthcare and better research than us. You see this in Switzerland, you see this in Germany, in Norway, much of the Scandinavian countries that have very fortified healthcare systems.
I don't have an argument on your opinion. I was just reading your comment.
But do they have this robust innovation?
I don't understand how black people are privileged.
Germany has a very good.
And that's coming from a white woman that says that.
To make you a point, Germany has some of the best drug companies.
You can share your opinion on the Neighborhood Superstar podcast.
So it's a balance. I tend to lean on the side of innovation, not on the side of price control.
Okay.
Personally, I think we are the victims of America. My personal opinion.
Them being available to the public,
But
I kind of.
I'm speaking as a black person.
What's the point of having these drugs if they're so inaccessible to the consumer base that, it's great having
That's a good argument.
I could take a
Yeah,
nap.
so you have to find some sort of a medium. I think the Biden reached too far,
Okay.
where the potential biotech market was, again, it could have been
Do you have the
alarmism,
lighter on there?
but at least the story that I was presented would have been a flight of capital. And that's a serious problem. Like, for example, there is not like a robust biotech industry in Sweden.
I can completely agree
Right.
with that. We're the headquarters, like we are the epicenter of the world.
And I don't
Rooms
find
to
things
go.
there. Like there, again, I say this as a Maha guy who thinks we take way too many pills, but there are some potentially very exciting drugs, like for example, for kids that have like life-threatening illnesses, like stuff that we can all agree that we want to try to see breakthroughs on, right?
Yeah.
And we can also get to root causes, but I don't want to see us lose the biotech edge.
She
And I
talking
think
shit
we
to you,
always, like,
baby.
pull this card,
What'd she say?
but China
You
is
said you ain't black,
catching up to us on
and
biotech.
why would they
I
matter
think we
because of my
all of a sudden
opinion?
they're the ones
And of
that
course,
control
a white
IP,
woman with a black man
potentially
gonna say
life-saving drugs
that.
for our kids.
Laugh out loud,
Okay,
duh.
Does that make sense?
That
Yeah,
matter.
final point.
I understand what you're saying. My question for you then on that.
Well,
if you're
you're
Joe
borderline
Biden,
being racist, in
I
my
guess you
opinion.
propose, an alternative.
It's 'cause I'm with a
How
black
would
man
you
don't mean
affect
anything. I'm a
race
white
and
woman,
drug prices?
and I'm in this world.
And she's
And
a,
I see it.
and she's a Charlie Kirk fan.
And I'm a Charlie Kirk fan. And I'm a conservative Republican.
Exactly. There's too much waiting
And I'm neither of that
for
fucking
development,
shit.
testing, and trial.
Only thing I am is a Navy veteran that fought for your right to have that opinion.
That time frame, which
So
would
you
then
should salute me.
create a lot more competition in the biotech market, which would then inevitably hopefully lower prices.
And just one tiny question for you, just because I've been wondering how you feel about this.
Don't
You're
forget to like and
very
subscribe.
pro-American.
Yeah, please subscribe,
When it comes to bringing back, like, the
Sereno,
American economy and the American workforce.
10.
How did you feel about the Chips and Science Act, the bipartisan act that Biden helped bring in?
Some of it was really good.
Okay.
Some of it I really didn't like.
I can understand that. I can
Some
accept
of it, like I live in Arizona.
Yeah.
And part of what was part of that bill was bringing the Taiwanese semiconductor industry to Phoenix.
that. Yeah.
We have like 10,000 new jobs. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So some of it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Great. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Shay.
that. Have a
Very
great day.
thoughtful question. Thank you. Give it up for Shay. That's how conversation should go.
And
Everybody.
with
That's
this girl's
great.
gonna talk about abortion or
Sebastian,
something.
give it up.
Salute you, cuz.
Is that good? Is that
You
good?
said so. After you just devalue my opinion for not being black.
Oh,
No,
Lord.
I didn't devalue your opinion for being
I have
black.
a question.
I can't. I can't really see
So I want to ask you, why did
your
you
picture. Your picture is small.
outrage when Joe
If
Biden
you black,
said
be
that
proud of being black.
But I do believe that black people can be racist. Of course I do.
outrage when
If,
Donald
I don't believe
Trump
black people can be
when
racist.
service members
We don't have the power to
Yeah.
to change anybody's lives. You know what I'm saying? This is a white person society that we live in America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So no, I didn't devalue your opinion for not being black because you're not being black.
Go for it.
Joe Biden was responsible.
Why are you looking at her picture then?
I don't know if this is a woman or a female, a woman or a male.
Donald Trump called all those families. He wrote them all letters. Now, what do I mean by that? Those 13 service members, when Joe Biden checked his watch, was because of Joe Biden's reckless withdrawal from Afghanistan. He was solely responsible for the death of those 13 people. The 4 men that Donald Trump did not go to the funeral service of which I think J.D. Vance did, for the record.
Oh my
But
God!
fair, you could have an opinion on that. It was because of a training exercise. That's a big difference.
And looking for my
Donald Trump
skin
was
color,
not
laugh out loud,
responsible for their
hypocrisy
death,
at
where Joe
its
Biden was
finest.
responsible for all 13 of those dying at that gate. At the
Okay, you win,
called
man.
Kabul.
You got it.
Golf tournament. It was a golf tournament. It wasn't just some train.
No,
wreck.
I understand. And again, I would bet.
I was just simply here trying to get a better understanding of who this guy was, Charlie Kirk, and who he represents. My question to you, Serena, were you a Charlie Kirk fan? Before this guy even got knocked off, I didn't even know who he was. So I'm just trying to have a civil discourse with somebody that's a fan of his. Are you a fan of Charlie Kirk?
Opinions about that, but you have to be morally clear about the differences.
And I won't judge you if you are. Like I said, my wife is a Charlie Kirk fan.
Versus 13 that died because of commander-in-chief being derelict in his duty.
If Donald Trump does not do what you said he did with the 13 soldiers, will you condemn it?
Well, again, if Donald Trump shows no
I'm a,
sympathy,
shout out to Sonoro. He said he or she. I don't know if it's a male or female. Like I said, I can't see your picture,
Have him do it then.
but it said I'm a fan of what's right and I don't pick sides. See, I agree with you.
A lot of money.
I agree with you. I'm not a liberal or conservative or whatever. Only thing I am in this country is a black man who just happened to put his life on the line for the United States of America. That's all. That's who I am.
Service members in our wonderful military.
Okay, what about when he disrespected John McCain, calling him not a war hero because he is captured?
Okay, well that was a long time ago.
John McCain.
For the record, this wasn't. This
John
was an
McCain
ongoing
was a war
dispute
hero,
between
man.
John McCain was a war hero.
And for the record,
Shout out to my
outside
shipmate.
of John McCain's service in Vietnam,
I actually seen him in real life.
Clear. John McCain's foreign policy has been responsible for the unjust death of nearly 1 million people. Spare me where I'm not going to go out of my way to defend John McCain, who was basically the author of the Iraq War, of the Libyan Civil War, of intervention in Syria, of saber rattling against Iran, of saying that Russia is one of our greatest enemies. John McCain was a neoconservative, just like George W. Bush. And so it was part of a long dispute between McCain and Trump. And honestly, Trump made good on it when he sent Air Force One to go have John McCain's 9th funeral in 4 days. Like, I mean, you guys remember this? It was like the world's longest funeral. And so we want to dig up something Trump said 10 years ago. I mean,
I have service members in my family that were Vietnam War vets, and I think calling them suckers and losers is not a good thing.
he never said that. That isn't that. No, see, now this is where we're getting into fraud territory.
Yeah.
He never said suckers and losers. You are right what he said about McCain.
White House people
It's
confirmed
not.
he said
No, it was by Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic. We know that slippery little snake that he is.
That's not patriotism.
Well,
The chief of staff and the national security advisor that hates him, John Bolton, said that he never said that about the D-Day. So do not come up here and peddle hoaxes.
blue-eyed
You have to
devil.
Be very accurate. You have to look
That's
at
I hear that at
source
work a lot.
documents, But he never said suckers and losers. President Trump would never believe that, think that. In fact, he's been a wonderful fighter for America's military and will continue to do so. He never said suckers and losers. That is not correct.
I know, Charlie, but
Sure.
There's
Pause
no
it.
evidence.
Sereno said, "What I see in America are white people being targeted for past issues, and black people starting to get a lot of breaks based on past struggles, and I don't think that's fair."
wow,
Well,
where do you live?
Where do you live?
Because here in Tennessee,
I don't know what I've been around for 45, 46 years. What breaks did I get? Now, I tell you what breaks I did get. I did have some things that other citizens in America didn't have. You know what I'm saying? Like a educational plan, places where I can go if I'm fucked up financially or late on rent, and I can go get some money. It wasn't because I was black. It was because I was a veteran. You know, to give you something. The reason why I say I didn't get no pass downs because I was black. I earned those.
you aren't that.
I earned being able to get rental insurance from a place that helped veterans out. Not because I was black. I earned that because I fought for the country. Now, when you said something, you said this also. You said what I see white people being targeted for past issues. Now, as a black person who just so happened to be from Mississippi, I don't want to see a white person going out there and being unfairly targeted for something that was happening back in the day. Because if you going out there and you harming the first white person that you see based on what the fuck their skin color is and based on what the fuck they what you think they family have done, you don't know what that person's grandfather done. That person's grandfather probably was riding with the black folks during the civil rights time, helping them out back in slavery times, helping them escape from their atrocities or whatever. You don't know. We don't know. Now, me personally, I'm finna call myself out. I'm a judgmental motherfucker. But that's what we need to stop doing as Americans. We need to stop judging people based off what we think of them because of their race. Get back to it, baby.
Does it give another thing on your?
I'm a black man. It offends me. It offends me when I hear that a white person is a I'm 5'8", fucking 200 fucking pounds. I'm not no fucking big fucking monster. It offends me when I hear a white person say that they intimidated of me. That offends me. So I don't want no white person offended looking at me and offended of me because, especially giving me a pass because of what my people that went through.
Piece of paper you'd like to mention?
No, just that you're a coward and not a patriot.
Some pushback.
You have to look at original source documents, but he never said suckers and losers. President Trump would never believe that, think that. In fact, he's been a wonderful fighter for America's military and will continue to do so.
That's one thing he does do.
He never said suckers and losers. That is not correct.
We can dispute that, but sure.
Wait,
There's no
dispute it.
evidence. Do you have another thing on your piece of paper you'd like to mention?
No, just that you're a coward and not a patriot.
Thank you.
Boo, get out of here,
Thank you.
dickhead.
I like to see a little pushback.
Hello, Charlie. Hope you're doing well today. My name is Doug, and I came today because I'm not really political generally. Because I'm not even registered to vote, to be honest. So I just came here to kind of exchange like the marketplace of ideas. You know, not to like debate or anything, but just to exchange the marketplace of ideas. And so I had a question about a policy that I'm kind of conflicted on myself, to be honest. So I wanted to hear your opinion. So I was wondering, and please let me know if I'm misinterpreting your political positions, but you are pro-life generally. Would that be a
Yep.
correct assessment? So I was wondering, very much so. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to check. So if given the opportunity, this is like a hypothetical question, would you go and abort Hitler before he was born, or
Damn, good question.
would you more so raise
That's a
him?
very good question. That's actually a morally good question.
Yeah.
That's not, it could come across as a troll, but continue.
Right.
Well, I'm asking the other scenario is if you would maybe allow him to be brought to term so he could be raised in an environment where, like, similar to how Kanye West said he became more sympathetic to Jewish people after watching 21 Jump Street. Would you raise him in an environment like that instead, so maybe he would be a
What the
better
fuck
fighter?
21 Jump Street got to do
I'm
with some
sorry.
Jewish shit?
I'm just trying to ask you the question.
It's a very difficult moral question.
Yeah,
It's a difficult
I
question.
don't
Don't
know.
answer it.
that's fine. Yeah, I don't know the answer either.
Right.
All right,
You can't
thank
answer
very
that.
much.
Why? Why you
Not
can't
sure
answer?
about-
Because it's not morally right to kill, so no, you couldn't go back in time and kill Hitler before he was born.
Yes, you can.
To stop-
You can.
to stop it.
You can. That's when I lost.
It's morally incorrect.
That's when I lost respect for him right there.
Baby, that's morally incorrect.
Yeah. You don't want to show that you walk both lines.
How is that? You can't kill, period. That's why he didn't fuck with that
my question.
question.
I tried to ask someone that knew,
Ask
but
him
I don't know
privately.
if on your
You
stance.
can't
if
kill
a woman
babies,
is raped,
period.
if they should be able to have an abortion or not.
The baby's life should be protected is my position.
Okay, are you aware of Lisa Medina's case?
Was this the Ohio young lady that had to go to another state to get an abortion?
No,
Okay.
she was a Peruvian woman. Well, she was a kid. She was
Well, this is a 10 or 11-year-old, or
5 actually. She was 5 years old, and she had issues with her reproductive tract, and she was pregnant. She was sexually abused, and she got pregnant at 5 years old.
I am familiar with the fighter,
I am
just
too.
so we can both.
I'm not
It's a
believing
real
It's
case
true.
that is extraordinarily rare. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like a 1 in 300 million case to be able to get pregnant before the age of even 10 or 11.
Exactly. That's why I'm not believing that story.
It's true, though.
Well-documented cases.
Okay, I feel like 12 is still a good amount. Like 12 is still a fair amount of people. You know, they're real people. They're real children.
Yeah, 12 over 60 years is small, but it is real. So please continue.
Okay, so I mean, rape is pretty common, right? Would you agree with that?
It is, yes. However, there's a lot of fake rape claims as well. But,
That's her.
I mean, rape is not nearly as common as people say it is. But
Yeah. Okay. That's
Okay.
right.
Well, it's
It's
still
true,
a
baby.
pressing issue. I think anyone here could agree that rape is a pressing issue, but
for sure it happens.
I don't understand how someone could argue that the 5-year-old should carry a baby to term. I don't understand how a 5-year-old girl could raise a child, how that child would be given a better life. I understand that you're giving the child life, but I don't understand. And I know you have kids. How old are your kids?
2 years and 2 years and 1 year. So,
Okay, so if you have really young kids, and 3 years is not a long time. I won't even have graduated in 3 years.
What's your point?
Would you be okay with your
Well,
child having another baby?
This idea of 5-year-olds getting pregnant is so insanely rare.
That's
that-
Why couldn't you answer that question when she asked what you couldn't answer? You couldn't.
He's answering it, baby. Give him a second.
There's another issue to your problem. which is if they are 5-year-olds getting pregnant, their life is in jeopardy. That actually is not the pressing issue of how they got conceived, right?
Right.
So there's two separate things: woman's life in jeopardy, or
The 5-year-old's life wasn't in jeopardy. They had a C-section that was perfectly
well,
healthy,
then-
so that's not the issue
yeah,
there.
then the baby shouldn't be aborted.
Okay, so you'd be okay with your 2-year-old
okay,
in 3 years
okay.
having a baby?
Well, no, I wouldn't be okay, but would I be okay with terminating another life? No.
No.
So you would rather your daughter
He's
At
saying
5.
yes.
have a baby than have it aborted?
That's what he's saying.
Yes, I would not be able to live with blood in my hands. Would you?
Okay, I think
No, but let's walk through this. Would you be okay walking into an abortion clinic, hearing a heartbeat, seeing brainwaves, seeing the baby on the ultrasound and say,
yes.
Damn. Damn.
I think
wow, that's really like,
That's
dark.
crazy.
but that's not my question. That's why
No,
I
no,
didn't
no,
want
it
to.
absolutely is your question. The question is, you asked me would I be okay with it. You said yes. There's no moral difference between a baby conceived in rape or not.
There is 100% a moral difference.
Really?
Also, you're.
No, time out. Wait, someone in this audience is conceived in rape. Do you know who it is?
I have no idea.
Because they're all human beings, regardless of how they were conceived.
Okay. but
That's a good one.
No, because there's no moral difference of the human being's method of conception. You don't get more rights if you're not raped or less rights if you're raped. You're a human being regardless. Universal human rights apply to all people regardless.
I know a girl in Muncie, Indiana. And she was raped by her uncle. And she got pregnant by her mama's brother. And she had that baby. And she gave that child up for adoption. Because she couldn't kill a baby. It wasn't the baby's fault. But she gave that baby the right to live. And we don't know where that baby's at. But that baby could be thriving. Maybe not. Most likely, at least thriving. But no, I believe that you don't kill a baby. But most of these bitches that are up here like her, she's going to go out this weekend and get pregnant, find out in 2 fucking weekends that she is pregnant, and then the next weekend she's going to go abort it and then pull the same fucking shit 6 months later.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of bitches do.
That sounds about right with that bitch. But listen at this motherfucking Sereno right here. After this, right, like I said, because I can't see your picture, are you male or female? Targeting means, yeah, you know how white people are. Type of comments. It makes the prejudgment on white people. And nobody ever has the wow, why you say that reaction. And then they double back and said, I'm half Spanish and Dominican. Let me finish right here.
Oh, okay. I'm confused.
Going back to your, for you to be Spanish and half Dominican, are you living in America? Are you living in America? Because
Are you American?
are you an American? Because if you are, going back to your first comment when you said targeting, and then you said something about white people. White people are targeting people that look specifically like you here in America. So that's why we have if we do, or some people have prejudgment of white people because this is a white person society that we live in America. It's built off the white American values. And then for you to say targeting and you taking up for these people, because remember you also said you are for what's right. And when I say these people, I'm not categorizing them all. I'm talking about the white dominant society who runs this country.
The 1%ers.
They targeting your people.
Yeah.
If you live here in America, but you being Spanish and Dominican, so yeah. And I felt me not knowing who this guy Charlie Kirk was. You sound obviously like a fan. My personal opinion, before I from the little shit that I've seen of him, he sounded like he was a race baiting pushing motherfucker from the shit that I seen.
I don't understand
But
that.
that's why I said, if you go to my description, that's why I said that I'm looking at this guy saying who he was and his and who he represents.
Do you see any race baiting going on right now?
As of right now, I don't.
Right, and we've been watching it for over an hour.
He got many. He got plenty of fucking interviews out there though.
Oh yeah.
Regardless if they come from a loving family or they come from a horrific, evil tragedy like rape.
Okay, but what about the life and the moral well-being of the mother? And I think
Okay. Jordan said, I was born in Spain in 1991, been in New York since 1995. I'm Americanized. I know full American experience. Went to black school and all. My kindergarten school is named after Barack Obama. Okay. But don't you realize that who you think ICE is that's targeting your people? Who you think ICE is?
Government.
as a man,
Who runs the
in
government?
order to understand, if you are raped and you have to go through carrying that baby, that's something you will never be able to understand. And I can agree. That's why I didn't want to debate abortion. I just wrote a paper on abortion. I can totally understand how, in the cases outside of rape, incest, or the life of the mother, how it could be seen as murder or things like that. But I'm specifically talking about rape.
No, I got it. You could see it as it's seen as murder. Then why would murder be the answer to rape?
Right.
That's exactly what you're postulating.
That's not what I'm.
No,
That's
it
not
is.
the
That's
answer
exactly what
to
you're
rape.
saying.
I agree. So life should be the answer to rape, is what we're saying. And if a baby is conceived in rape, you don't all of a sudden say, let's do something more evil because something evil happened. By no moral standard do two wrongs make a right. We know that. We're raised saying that. And so when evil thing happens, human life created, that human has rights, we have to respect them, including the right to life.
And I'm saying I don't think you will ever be able to possibly come close to understanding, as a man, what it is like to be raped and have to carry that baby and
But can you?
relive all of that trauma.
Do you
You will
know what it's
never
like
be
to be
able
a
to
man?
understand that. That's not what I'm talking about
The
here.
point being is, like, are we allowed to discuss stuff just because we don't know what it's like to be the other sex? Are we
I
allowed
would
to
not
ask
be allowed
them?
to discuss what it's like to get a vasectomy or what it's like to experience that. No, I
Okay,
don't have.
but have you
No,
personally been raped?
no, I
Okay,
have.
Exactly.
My
How are you
mother
able-
has been raped
Okay, but
and had to carry the
point being
abortion.
is, then how are you able to personally be able
Because
to
I'm a
talk about it?
woman and I.
You're using a fallacy called a argument from authority, that if you
Mhm.
only have a certain merit badge or a certain distinction, you're allowed to have opinions on that topic. Men can have opinions on this just because we have prostates and not uteruses.
Okay, and I agree. You can have your
Yes.
opinion. I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, but I'm saying you can't begin to understand the depth of what that would feel like to be raped by someone and have to carry that baby.
Yes, and equally, there are millions of women who regret having their abortions. I mean, so what is the argument? The argument is
I
that
honestly, I wanted
I-
to know
I
about the
agree.
5-year-old and if you
Yes.
would like your 5-year-old child to
And
have
he
a baby.
said-
of course I would not like it. You are
Okay.
putting in an impossible moral situation
But
of
when your child got raped, when one of your little girls got raped at 5 and had a baby, was you aborted? Was
He
you?
said
It's not
no, he
impossible
wouldn't
because
abort
it
it.
has happened.
I hear him say
And
that.
I
He
guess
did.
12 times, according to you.
12 times in 60 years. I mean, it's so insanely improbable for a 5-year-old to go through prepubescent puberty and then get
Exactly.
impregnated because they were raped. It's like you have a much higher likelihood of, like, I mean, it's like a much higher likelihood of winning the lottery twice than that happening. Just
Okay.
so we are clear.
Okay.
And again, but I answered your question coming in good faith. But would you agree then we can outlaw all other abortions except rape, life, of the mother, and incest?
I wouldn't necessarily agree, but I would have to think more about that. But my main issues are with rape, incest, and
And again, my contention is that it doesn't stop being a human being just because of how that baby came into existence.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He don't like you.
I am part of the Washington State rugby team here on
Oh,
campus.
God.
That's a tough sport, man.
Yeah, we actually just won a conference, and got,
But you-
What team?
Shout out to Sereno. He said whatever the TBH stands for. What does TBH stand for? Tell me what TBH stand for. I'm new to it. I'm what am I? I'm not Gen X.
You're Gen X, man.
I'm Gen X. Okay. I'm a 46-year-old man don't know what TBH stands for. Tell me, put me on game. But it said TBH. I thought you guys were watching Kirk to shit on white people, but
To be honest.
but that's not the case. I might have underestimated how fair you guys were with your opinions. Of course, man. I'm a judgmental motherfucker. I judge you on what you say. I don't judge you on about what other people think of you or what people said you said. I judge you. I'm a judgmental motherfucker where I judge you on what you said. Oh, to be honest, that's what
I had to Google it to be honest.
TBA said. What to be?
I had to Google it, but yeah, to be
No,
honest.
I don't. Like I said, I don't want nobody to be intimidated of me, and shitting on somebody because I don't want nobody to shit on me. I'm a black man from Mississippi,
And I'm as white as they come.
the bottom of the goddamn barrel when it comes to the 50 states in America. That's where I'm from, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Do your homework on Philadelphia, Mississippi. I'm not supposed to be where I am. Where I'm here, where I am today is because I don't shit on people.
Teams?
No, it's
So you beat Oregon State.
we're a club
I'm trolling you. I'm trolling you.
We're a club sport, so we make our own conference. But we just got.
Make sure you like and subscribe, though.
Get there.
Are you male and female? I hate to keep asking that question. Like I said, I can't see your picture.
We can.
Your picture is very small. I'm just
How much money
asking.
you guys need?
like.
Or are you non-binary? Because that's
We just need to get there.
Yeah, we don't offend them.
we don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, we do need to get back to.
Where
We're across a lot of non-binaries lately.
Yeah.
Do you see? It would be fun to compete for
When
the
is it?
national championship in our
When is it?
capital. It is next weekend.
Next week?
Next weekend, I think that you can do it. If anybody can do it, Charlie, it's you.
Okay. If you can raise half, I'll put up the other half.
Let's do it.
Damn,
All right.
good deal.
All right, but not-
Right
not
on, Charlie.
go- Like, you go figure it out. We'll our show, the Charlie Kirk show. But you better not do this like private skimming stuff. Like,
Of course not, sir.
we need receipts. Like you're
Yes,
flying
sir.
Spirit Airlines. Like
Yes,
you know.
sir. Yes,
you know,
sir. We will.
staying
We will
days
raise.
in.
We will raise half the money to get to nationals. Thank you.
And then we'll match it. All right. Our team
Great.
will be in touch.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job.
You better be telling the truth. All right. Not
I
some
believe
sort of
you.
like he's launching a crypto coin or something, you know? Yeah, and then talk to our team. I'm telling you, you match half, we'll do half, you'll be at nationals, okay? By the way, why does the school pay for this? I got enough money. Why am I have to do this? But
Our athletics are kind of low on funds right now, and we're not sponsored by athletics. We're sponsored by the rec. which
it's all this
doesn't-
bureaucracy. Yeah, don't get me started. But why don't they put that sociology professor on leave and use that money to have you go to the finals, all right?
Right.
Anyway, so we'll do half.
I'd like to say thank you for doing this. I enjoy talking politics with my friends and everything, so I think this open environment. However, I think a big issue is that people just kind of find like a diehard and they're not willing to like say that they're wrong in certain aspects.
Right.
So I'd like to ask you, just as a preface to all of this, will you admit that with Trump, what he ran on, from my perspective, was largely the fact that he would end wars and the economy would be better rather instantly, is what he was rather pushing for. However, the wars are still going on. We're still seeing crime against humanity in Palestine and such forth. So will you admit that he was lying, or at least didn't come through on his promises?
I mean, he's trying to end the Russian-Ukrainian war. He resisted. Here's how amazing Trump is.
Oh God.
Israel was like, we're going to go bomb Iranian nuclear sites. And Trump's the one that stopped Israel from doing that. It's a big deal. You can
God.
acknowledge that's big, right?
Yes.
And so, as far as the economy, we're 80 days in. Gas prices are down, egg prices are down. We're
How
gonna
the
see
world
major
has
tax
changed
bills.
since
How about
Charlie
we
Kirk's
agree?
died.
Let's talk in 1 year about the economy. Cool? Like, because it's way too early. Let's give Trump a year.
See, I would like that, but the issue that I have with it is the fact that he said the second he gets in, like in the first week, I can't remember what his exact words were, he's like, I'll make a call to Russia and we'll
2
get this
days.
ended. That was his promise, is what I'm having an issue
Fair
with.
enough, yes. There's political bravado at times, but to Trump's credit, we are closer to ending this war than escalating it. Steve Witkoff just sat down with Vladimir Putin, who is his special envoy, for 5 hours. It's an incredibly difficult situation to end, and I do want to see the wars end. I mean, you and I have an agreement. I happen to be on the pro-Israel side, and I think what's happening to some of the civilians in Gaza is terrible. I want to see that come to an end.
The rape and the murder and everything, yes.
Well, for him to be on pro-Israel side, that wipes out your fucking.
No, you don't understand. What happens after this? After all this right here? When was this? Right around the time he died? Because see, you got to think. Candace said that it was like 6 weeks before Charlie Kirk got assassinated, that Charlie turned his back on the Israeli push for Americans. That their agenda was different than Charlie Kirk's agenda. So he told APAC, I don't want your money. He told all these people, I don't want your money. I'm not spreading your agenda. And then he's dead just a couple weeks later. Because he decided after Israel keeps doing what they're doing, and it had lasted just a couple weeks, Charlie Kirk said, I'm not doing this. This is not what my establishment's about. He's spreading Christianity, not Judaism. You see what I'm saying? I'm not doing that.
So tell the people what you think. You believe that. Tell the people what your conspiracy.
I think that Charlie Kirk decided he wasn't going to spread the what the government. Now, let me emphasize government, not people of Israel. What the government wants to push their propaganda through our country, and they wanted to pay Charlie Kirk to do it. And Charlie Kirk said, "I'm not doing that. That's not what my establishment's about. Mine's about Christianity, helping people, everybody loving each other." And then he's dead just a couple weeks later. As soon, everything's fine. People can smack hats off of him and threaten his life. But the Israeli government is the one that killed fucking Charlie Kirk. And I guarantee you that we'll never fucking know for sure. Watch Candace Owens. Because that's his real friend right there. The only friend he's got.
Soldiers raping women.
There's a case with the rape, and that was discussed in the Israel government, I do believe, with some of their official members.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that, but yeah, so sure, of course I don't support that.
My second main thing is I struggle to see how Trump people deal with his tax. I know
How the
you
world
talked
has
about it
changed
with the tax cut and
since
hopefully
that day
comes
right
through, that
there.
helps us. However, the tax cuts that push for the top 1% of people compared to him cutting Medicare causes that help millions of Americans. I'm failing to see how that's, and under the disguise of saying that it's for money, but he's allowing less money.
Like, look, let's go through the three things that Democrats are going to vote against. No tax on tips, that's a working class thing. No tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security.
Those are big.
Those three.
And I'm okay with.
I got that.
Yes.
And he's actually proposing a tax hike on 1%. I don't know if it's going to pass, but he has also he's also suggested closing the carried interest loophole. So there's a little more there than you might always hear on the meeting.
From my knowledge, though, most of the taxes that he has provided, though, largely favor the top percent over the middle class, though, unless I'm wrong. But to my
No
knowledge,
tax bill has passed.
yeah, not this term, but especially in like his past
His
term.
first term, it was largely a middle class tax cut, but yes, you are not totally incorrect. Wealthier people also paid less, which, by the way, I think less taxes for everybody is a good idea.
Well, then may I ask you, what do you think about like his cutting Medicare and Medicaid that helped millions of Americans?
That has not
and
happened yet.
Department of Education.
All of it, this is an ongoing discussion. So, and also he's not touching Medicare at all. Medicaid is very complicated. There's a lot of fraud, there's a lot of abuse, there's a lot of double dipping. So I do think we need to reform Medicaid.
Nick
Medicaid
Shirley
is
all the
a
way on
completely
that
different
one.
thing than Medicare.
See, I can agree with you on that.
I will not pay attention to that motherfucker.
However,
You
he's
should.
to my knowledge, he has yet to bring actually plan other. My friends are Republican as well, and they say that Medicare
Why?
has its issues.
Nick Shirley's going around exposing fraud.
His main thing is just with get rid of it per se. Same with like Department
Not
of
in the
Education.
hundreds,
Not saying to get rid
but
of
in the
Medicaid.
millions.
That is not correct. But we should get rid of the Department of Education for sure. Like that, like 100%. That one.
That's why.
Well, since the Department of Education, have education standards and outputs gone up or down?
I believe they've
Down.
gone- What standards
Down.
you talking about though?
Everything, reading scores, test scores, literacy,
Down.
are standing in the world. The Department of Education is the Department of Education Administration. There are 21 million people that work for the government in this country. 11 million of the 20
Yeah,
million
take
work in
that.
education. Do you know 7 million of the 11 million are not teachers? They're administrators. They're desk workers. They're paper pushers.
Yes.
This is largely pushed by the Department of Education.
Yeah.
It is the Department of Bureaucracy.
Then why not reform instead of harm people in the process of trying to
There is
cut?
nothing good the Department of Education does. That cannot be sent to other departments.
You're telling me there's not one thing in the entire Department of Education of helping students whatsoever, food
That
costs,
can't
et cetera.
also be sent to other departments. See, that's the key. That's what you don't hear in the media. He's not getting rid of school lunches. He's sending that to the Department of Agriculture. He's not getting rid of student loans. He's
Right.
sending that to the Department of Treasury.
But will it be handled properly?
Better, way better. What do you think? A education bureaucrat or a sophisticated financial expert at Department of Treasury is better at understanding student loans?
Department of Treasury.
Yeah, so he's actually making it better and more efficient. So you think he's just deleting stuff. In reality, he's making things more efficient and sending them to other departments.
You don't
That
fuck
makes
with the
sense.
Department of fucking
The main worry is that
education.
there's no
That's some bullshit.
You do when it's fucking corrupt.
Like, hope that actually just don't know it.
The entire thing's a big gamble. Same with our economy and the tariffs and everything.
I
It's a
think
big
there's a
gamble.
plan, but you gotta dig deeper, man. This administration is far more sophisticated than you think. You think that they're just shooting from the hip and that they're just doing random stuff. These are incredibly talented, smart people that have thought this through, that are very methodical in how they're going about it.
I believe it's Linda McKinnon, Department of Education.
Linda McMahon,
Linda McMahon.
the WWE great.
But you're saying she's incredibly knowledgeable about this
She
stuff.
did run the SBA. She ran the Small Business
Nepotism
Administration.
at its finest.
She ran a multi-billion-dollar business. I mean,
But then into the Department of Education, which is a different stance, though.
yeah, I mean, who would you rather
It's
have
a
run the
business.
Department of Ed? Like a teacher's never run anything, or someone who's run a multi-billion-dollar business? Probably the business.
The teachers, the one
The
doing
business.
No.
It's a business.
The teachers.
Was the head of Department of
The
Education.
business. The
Obama.
teachers don't know how to deal with
It was a
money.
disaster. Our education department and our education standards in this country are some of the worst on the planet, in the industrialized world. It's largely because we centralize things in DC that should be sent to the states and sent to parents and sent to families and local areas. And the president's making good on his promise to abolish the Department of Education.
But in countries like in Europe, like Sweden, they have a much higher education level than we do, and their government has a much more involved program in the school
They actually have
system.
full school choice in Sweden. Do you know that? Do you know they have full school choice in Sweden? Full school vouchers. You can choose any school of your liking.
But the government also is more involved in the schooling.
Yes and no. We don't have school choice in this country. You guys don't have school choice in Washington. The money doesn't follow the child.
Oh, no, you got districts
You know,
here,
they don't
even
have- they
in
don't have
elementary
overbearing
school.
teachers
It
in
depends on where you
You
live.
gotta do a little more research on some of this stuff. It sounds good, it feels good, it might be a meme you saw on social media. There's a lot more depth on this stuff. I encourage you to keep doing your research. Thank you for your time. Go to the next question. Thank you. Again, if you guys disagree, you guys can come to our wonderful team here and they'll work you through the train here.
Hey, I'm from Germany, so thanks for complimenting on our
Guten
innovation.
Tag.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deutschland über alles.
Damn.
No, not quite.
What do you say,
You don't
brother?
like your country? No?
I love
What
my
do you
country.
say?
I'm a patriot.
Huh?
You German, what do you say?
He said you, he was
You
like,
don't
love,
fucking-
love to Germany.
Get the fuck out of here.
He said love to Germany.
Okay.
And that guy said he don't really care much for Germany.
Question about
How you know he
NATO
said
and
it?
the Western Alliance more broadly.
That's what he said, baby. Listen, you can hear it. He's playing English.
Trump's first term was great as far as foreign policy goes. I think that our Chancellor Merkel
I'm
did
an
a really bad
American.
job
Oh.
with NATO and actually.
My
also with
ancestors are
domestic
German,
policies.
not Hitler's
But
era
now
German.
that
I'm talking
we have the Ukraine war
1600s
and
German.
Germany is actually.
We've been here a long time.
paying more than
I'm
2%
a
of
full-blown
their GDP to
American.
NATO, and many other members as well.
Been here since
Trump is now raising
1641.
5%, which I think is, like, maybe you call it the art of the deal.
I know
but I think
exactly the
it's
port that my family
unreasonable.
pulled out of over in
And,
Germany.
US themselves don't spend 5%,
Actually,
so I
they,
don't know
they
quite
pulled
where
out of
it's
a port in
going.
Europe.
But my main question is about Ukraine, Russia, which you guys reported on a little bit. You said like Stephen Woodcraft did a great job and he's like been there for 5 hours.
In
He's been there several
1641.
times now. I mean, they were bargaining also in, I think, Doha with the Secretary of State. Yes. So,
My
I
uncle was the
don't
first black
see how
motherfucker
the
to ever come
peace
over in
was
America.
good, that I actually
in
think Trump is the
1611.
person working out this time.
1614, I think what it was. Yeah, 1614, that was my uncle.
Downhill.
So we was over here about 30 years before your family got here.
Okay,
My family was.
okay, well, we're all Americans. What's that mean? You more American than me? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, you older than I am, so you definitely more American than I am.
But your family got here sooner than mine, though. Does that make you more American?
And after golfing at Mar-a-Lago,
Yeah, we did more. We did more for this country than your family.
Oh, Lord.
The
The heartbeat of America, huh?
And I don't understand why Trump.
Yeah, we did. My people did more for this country than your people.
Look at his skin tone. It's just different, ain't it?
Who's skin tone, baby?
The German.
He got a shirt on.
I'm talking about his face. He looks like a vampire.
Oh,
One of them is energy.
That reminds me of the one that knocked off the college kids up there.
What was the question? Yeah.
Well, the question
Yeah,
is,
what's your question,
why
man? Fuck.
Trump says that he's a strong leader. Why is he not getting Putin to agree with him? And why do you see that they are closer to an agreement than they have been during the Biden administration? I don't think Biden did a good job because they had no strategy. But
Biden wasn't even talking to him. I guess, so as a German, let me first comment on the NATO thing. Trump proposing 5% is to try to make good on the many years where Germany was under 2%. So for many years, we paid for NATO, and this is just catching up for that.
Correct.
That's his belief. Fair or unfair, that's his belief. But you can agree, for 30 years, we paid the lion's share of NATO costs. America has. And I actually, I don't hate NATO. I inherently don't think it's a bad idea. I do think we shouldn't have NATO expansion. I think that's been a mistake. But
NATO's expansion as far as Ukraine, or also as far as
Ukraine and
Sweden?
Finland,
Finland,
I
yeah.
think was a mistake.
Yeah.
Finland is very Russian
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, and you can even acknowledge
Yes, but I mean, Russia
that. Finland.
pushed them into NATO.
I know, but Finland was even neutral in World War II. I mean, like, it was like Finland is a very edge case. You as a
I
European.
don't think we should have neither one of them.
Of course, it's fine.
It's
But
fine.
Fuck 'em all.
I don't want to get into that, but I would just ask the question, because this is the most important question. Here's the way that we look at it as Americans. Through door A, we can continue this war. We will give more armaments to Ukraine, and 1 million more people are going to die. For what?
Not helpful, I agree, yes.
Yeah, and then door B is to try to find some settlement. Do you think we should try door B more than door A?
Absolutely,
Okay,
but
we
I think
agree.
he should put the same type of pressure on both sides.
So what, yeah, fair
Because
enough.
right now, I think he should just sanction Russia and see where they're going, because right now,
I don't
just
think
push
you're
them
incorrect.
further.
I don't think you're incorrect. Russia thinks they're winning, and they are.
And they
And
are,
so,
but
but the question is then, what else can we do to Russia? Because Joe Biden did so much. I mean, they dumped their dollar bills from their reserves. I mean, there's very little that we can continue to do to Russia
I think
outside
if
of
you-
supplying more weapons.
How do you know?
yeah, but like.
He
for example,
knows.
supplying
How the
more
fuck
weapons,
did he
like
know?
that.
Do you not know who
So
Charlie
let's
Kirk?
check
You
the
don't
question
know
out.
who Charlie Kirk
But why
is,
can't
do
he supply
you?
more weapons as
That he's
long
sat
as he
next to,
doesn't
he's
use
in the fucking
I'm great,
administration
and I would think-
practically.
I think
We have a
Ukraine-
different view of the war than Biden. We don't think it's
You know who
primarily
his best
America's
friend is?
responsibility to hold
J.D.
up Ukraine.
Vance.
Okay, I agree with
So
that.
we just
but
have a
now-
different philosophy.
Okay,
So
that's
J.D.
fine,
Vance
like,
telling
the
all the
orders of
secrets to Charlie Kirk.
I'm saying Charlie Kirk is there. He was there just like Tucker Carlson, except for when everything was private.
So he can't
They
do
were there in
anything about
everything
what
that
he
wasn't
did.
private.
Now he's in
Charlie
this
Kirk was sitting
place,
right there with
and I
him.
think that if you just drop out and after saying in 24 hours I'll solve this war, and not
These
getting
aren't
it
people
fixed,
that just
and just saying,
believe
you know,
in what Trump
stop
says.
being
These are people that know
active at
Trump.
all, I think
That's
that
why
will
it's so
have major
devastating.
ramifications for all the other
Let me ask you though.
foreign policy.
Let me find where I think we disagree. Do you think we should grow closer to Russia or further away from them diplomatically?
Closer.
Well, I think you can grow closer to them, but I think you
Why?
should
Why
definitely
would we go? Why?
not grow
Because we
closer
don't
to
want
them
fucking
as
world
long as
war.
they're still
No.
fighting civilians.
Separate yourself from them. They ain't got shit to do with us. Leave them folks the fuck alone.
Yeah, until the next nuke hits and it destroys our atmosphere.
Okay, how come the nuke ain't been set off in 4 years since we've been beefing with Iran?
Because of how dangerous they are.
Exactly.
Do you think that Trump
But you know,
Nobody-
who's the one that uses the nukes though in history?
Nobody fucks
Us.
around. Nobody
they're
fucks
not
around
the
with
same
them.
carbon copy person, but JD
That's
served at the
bullshit.
pleasure of the president.
It's
I'm sure
happened
JD
twice.
is more,
Well,
a little bit more cautious than the president is at times.
Yes, he's less of an interventionist,
Correct.
and I think that, to be honest, I think that Trump is a pragmatist, and J.D. Vance is much more ideological about this whole thing, which you saw a little bit with the Houthi attack, like with the signal gate, where apparently he did not want to do the same thing as Trump did, and I just don't see how this is in any way in America's interest.
How do you think-
If you are perceived as a weak partner to negotiate with, because so far
So your opinion-
the Europeans are definitely
Look, he's like,
thinking,
okay,
and I
just
think
finish.
many more other countries as well, that Putin is playing with Trump, and I don't think Trump should be played with.
It's a tough situation. I got it. Thank you for that. And I can tell you're coming from a good perspective. The difficulty is that even bringing the Russians to the table has taken a lot of concessions because of how far apart this was at the beginning. And now, I don't think it would be unreasonable for Trump to be able to use other non-military measures to try to remind Putin that he can't just bomb civilians and we're actually trying to end this war.
I agree.
Where we as America Firsters come, though, we want to see this war ended, and
See?
we want this war machine to not be sending more armaments and missiles to a foreign country where a lot of people are going to continually unnecessarily die. And the problem is that as a European, this is much more close to home than it is for us, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I agree with you mostly. I just don't know. Would you also like to have a normalization of the relationships to Russia,
Yes.
even if they continue the war?
It's contingent. That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, because I think if you
Good question. You don't know, see?
Good question he can't answer.
I
Yep,
understand.
he don't know, so.
You can answer the other shit, though.
Well, if you don't know, you don't know, right?
That's way more important to you guys than Europe, which I understand.
And for Germany too. do. I have to say, I think China's a bigger threat to Germany than Russia. I really do.
Yeah.
I know you might disagree, but
Well, I agree as far as like.
China's a bigger threat than motherfucking Russia as well.
Conventional.
That's what he said.
Yes.
ground war.
But I agree with you.
No, he said
But I
Germany.
think that what Trump is doing right now.
He said
is
China
first of
is
all
more
pushing the Europeans
dangerous
more
to
towards
Germany than
China,
Russia.
More like as far as the trade stuff goes.
An unintended consequence. You're probably right.
Yes, but I also think that you're pushing Russia further to China because well, I think so. I think that Putin right now thinks
It's too
he
early.
gets
Too
away with
early to
anything.
tell. Too early to tell. So
Well,
you might,
but why do you think that? Why do you see goodwill in Putin? Like he could have agreed to that 30-day ceasefire, no problem. It was more to
I'm not
his
even saying I
interest.
see goodwill in Putin. I'm willing to give peace a chance because that has not been tried. And here's the most frustrating thing. We had a peace deal on the table a week into the war in Istanbul, Turkey, and Tony Blinken and Boris Johnson blew it up.
Germany is not a
And
threat
I
to
know. and
America.
He's not saying that, baby.
China is more of a threat.
That's what he said. China is more of a threat to Germany than
So
Russia.
that's why we need to leave fucking Ukraine alone.
And
He's
European,
German.
I think you're making very substantive good points. We just
I'm
have
so
a very
confused.
different
I'm
perspective.
gonna go lay
Why?
down.
We've spent $250 billion, right? We
Which I
have,
might get back to the mineral deal, but we'll see.
yeah, but also we've been invaded.
Oh, shit. Shout out to,
Why we did that. So it kind of
Ball
plays
Striker
the
Bando. He
idea
said
about
it's a
foreign and
shame.
not immediate.
Charlie Kirk would have been a great,
Insult your
great
country, but there has
president.
been-
Hell yeah,
You know, I'm
he
just saying, for like 20 or 30 years, the Europeans have been a little asleep.
He would have
at
been
the
a wonderful
They said America
president.
will protect us. We can pay
Damn
money
it.
for others.
So
Yes, but
sad
now-
that he didn't get his
but now
chance.
we are leveling up.
Finally, but
He would have been so
$1 billion
serious.
debt deal.
I know, but you and I both know Germany does not.
Shout out to
have
Ball Striker. Make
very
sure you like and
industrial
subscribe.
This is, I think you should have Europe, as far as the economic
like Charlie
control on your
Kirk
side,
don't
to be
fit
able to
into
fight
the
Hit that like button, Ball subscriber. I got 3 likes. Hit that ball. I mean, that,
I think that's
Pause.
a major
Pause.
factor.
I don't have to. I'm in disagreement with that. I want to give President.
I mean, hit that,
and
hit that like button.
You have to give him a little more credit. in my opinion.
Not hit the balls. My bad. My bad.
Because this was an icy
No,
relationship.
I agree with that.
Oh,
I just
shit.
think he should press it
If
down.
you need a hard cigarette, grab one.
Got it.
Can I ask one more question
Yes.
about tariffs?
Very quick,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is like a little bit related because I think you can't quite separate tariffs and foreign policy and other wars. So do you think that Trump is going to get a lot of good deals in the next 90 days?
Oh yeah, but deals are already happening, yes.
Which ones?
Japan, South Korea, he tweeted out today, or Truth or whatever, you know, Vietnam is coming down the pike. And by good deals, we mean more American products sold in these countries.
Yes, I think that's a little bit one-sided because you guys have the great advantage to like export services all over. the place.
Germany has a lot of it. No. You guys have BMW and Mercedes
Yes,
and
but-
Volkswagen and Bar,
Well, Trump was
Bear
asked-
and
Trump was asked
Hugo
to-
Boss and Lufthansa.
I agree,
You
but-
guys have some really good companies.
BMW,
So.
you mentioned BMW.
Yeah,
They
Bavarian
export a
Motor
lot
Works.
from here.
I know that is true, but if they're made here, it's tariff free.
Yes, but I'm
Period.
just,
It's
yes.
zero tariff.
Okay.
BMW, to your credit, BMW makes a ton of product in America.
Yes. And
If I got it right.
But can I ask a question?
Yes.
How many Ford Explorers do you see in Germany?
None, but they're also a little too wide because our.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So there's
You
issues
Germans
with that.
like your little skinny cars on the Autobahn, right?
Okay, let's
Let me
go-
ask you a funnier question. Do you see any Teslas?
Yes, we do. Now with stickers, I bought this before Elon went.
Oh,
crazy.
really? In Germany? Yeah.
Anyway, one question about Elon Musk. So do you agree that it would be a good idea, which he put forth when he was in Italy, I think 2 weeks ago, to have a free trade zone between America and the EU?
Potentially, only if the EU makes a big promise on LNG.
I think they would be totally willing to.
That's the condition.
Yeah.
If Europe is going to be able to use America as their sole energy source, I think it's a good idea. And if Germany will drop its tariffs on our imported goods.
I think they're willing to.
Okay.
And I think
Then
that,
that should be the
I
goal.
think Trump should have a good relationship with Merz and they should stop supporting
But
the
there's
AfD.
one last thing. Europe has to stop this crackdown on free speech.
Yes, but look,
Hold on, hold on.
J.D. Vance's speech was good the first third, but he takes like one instance
No,
from
it's not
Britain.
one instance, my friend. No, in Germany, there are hundreds of instances where they are knocking on doors and arresting people for hate speech violations
But
because they're racist.
with the abortion clinic would have never happened in Germany, and Britain has a far
This is
left
not even an
government.
abortion clinic. This is for racist
No,
speech.
but I'm saying what J.D. Vance quoted in his speech at the Munich Security
Got it. I know.
Conference.
I got to
Where
get to
I
the next
also think
question,
he should have talked about
we will
security.
only. I think Europe needs to become a much better protector of freedom of speech than it currently is.
I agree with
And-
that, but I don't think you should put all the European countries in one box.
Germany's pretty bad.
I think you are wrong about that.
All right.
You
I'm
should
coming
have
to Germany
different-
in May. I hope to see you
All right.
there.
Thanks for talking.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi, Charlie. How you doing?
Good.
Okay. So
Captain Homer said, Kirk represents ignorance, fear, and bigotry, and Nazis.
3 inches inside of you, and you're 3 inches inside of Trump. Which way are you moving?
You guys waited.
No, he
so
said
long.
Nazis.
I got that question yesterday. Next question. Thank you.
I missed it.
He thought that was funny.
Scoot Ginger said he would have made a better president than the current one. That's not saying much. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Y'all hit that like and subscribe button.
U.S. foreign aid beneficial to the United States?
Well, more money for us,
There's been a lot more babies.
and also not funding countries that hate us, primarily. Some of which. We should not be the world's piggy bank.
If he would have been allowed to live, he would have saved so many babies' lives.
As against like.
He wouldn't have done what Trump did and turned his back on us and go to war.
Tactic.
For no reason.
Has it worked?
I don't. Has it worked?
In the last 20 years, has soft power across the world been, which is a neoconservative talking point, has that been good for America and good for the world?
I feel if we could prevent the death of even a small number of people, it's beneficial. Giving HIV vaccines, any other vaccines is very beneficial. It can prevent the COVID 2024 or 2026 if it was to happen in Africa. I just stopping another COVID and then another stock market fall be very beneficial.
Yeah, I don't know what that has to do with USAID money, but
It has everything to do with it. Don't we give a ton of money to Africa for vaccinations of USAID?
well, that's very little. That's a very little portion of it. But most of the money are just blank checks to their governments. They're just here, go spend the money. I mean, in Iraq, we spent $20 million on,
So what?
a Sesame Street equivalent in Iraq. I mean, the stuff is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So as soon as she was able to fuck, he got her ass pregnant again.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know what you're talking about.
Eric Kerr.
So I mean,
She had that baby.
I asked
And
the
they
question,
say don't have sex for 3 months.
The last 20 years.
So
of
9,
soft
10, 11, 12.
Libya,
As soon as she was able to
soft
fuck,
power
he got her
work in
pregnant
Venezuela,
again.
Soft power work in Somalia. Soft power work in Iraq. Did it work in Syria? Did it work in Yemen? Did it work in Ukraine?
I thought it was strange he had to think how old his kids was.
Billions of dollars into Ukraine.
I thought it was strange he had to think how old his kids was.
We as the country.
I don't agree with your argument because
Well, then show me an example where it's worked.
Ukraine is still standing.
Barely. I mean, Ukraine's a destabilized, corrupt country where oligarchs have fleeced their citizens for 30 years because of U.S. taxpayers. 20 years.
Well, I can imagine there's quite a bit of corruption in Ukraine
Yeah,
and
quite a bit.
Russia. Corruption can be a part of a system.
All right, guys. I'm gonna shut it down on the Charlie Kirk side of the game. I'm gonna come back with y'all later on tonight. I kind of found it interesting on what some of the topics he was talking on. I gotta go because I gotta get my day started. For the ones who are checking out the Neighborhood Superstar and don't know your boy, I am the ice cream man. I gotta get my day started. So we're gonna go live while we hit the block of Murfreesboro, selling our ice cream, providing smiles each and every mile while making my mama and daddy proud. I want to send a very special shout out to all the people that checked out the Neighborhood Superstar podcast and the 5 people that hit that like button. Man, y'all go back and watch this video again. I got more to come. Check me out later. I will be going live when we out there providing smiles each and every mile while making my mom and daddy proud on my ice cream truck. I'm out. Peace.